Supervisor of the Kincardine and Tiverton Branches of the Bruce County Public Library. These are the books I'm most looking forward to in the last part of 2024. The first book is Rough Pages by Lev A.C. Rosen. I've been a fan of the Evander Mills mysteries since the first book, Lavender House, and I thought its sequel, The Bell in the Fog, was a great follow-up that kept me hooked. In this book, Rosen takes us back to 1950s San Francisco, this time to solve a murder at a bookstore that handles dangerous material. Staff here send mail subscriptions of queer-themed books, illegal at the time, and everyone who subscribes is in jeopardy if the missing list of addresses ends up in the wrong hands. The stakes in this mystery are personal and dangerous, driving the pace of the book forward and making it difficult to put down when the end of every chapter introduces another thrilling turn. Rosen always does a fantastic job of recreating the gay culture of the period where homophobia can end jobs, relationships, and lives, but where queer people will still find ways to share their stories and find each other, creating pockets of the world where they can be themselves. For other mysteries set in decades past with LGBT themes, try The Gulf by Rachel Cochran, set in the 1970s about a disturbing murder in a tight-knit religious small town, or go further back to the 1920s with a jazz age murder in an underground nightclub in Last Call at the Nightingale by Catherine Shellman. My next pick is Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. This one's another follow-up book, the sequel to Ibanez's hit book, What the River Knows. I loved the first book, an adventurous historical mystery of ancient Egyptology set in the late 1800s with romance and a hint of fantasy inspired by The Mummy. In the first book, 19-year-old Inez Oliveira leaves behind the upper society of Buenos Aires to find out what happened to her parents in Egypt who went missing, declared dead. She frequently defies her stern uncle, who is now her guardian, and who worked with her parents on their digs and may know more about the circumstances of their death than he's saying. Her uncle's assistant, Wit, is at times her most frustrating nemesis and at times her dashing partner in hijinks, but he has secrets of his own. The first book ended with a serious cliffhanger with dangerously high stakes, and the second book brings about the conclusion of this duology. For another suspenseful historical fantasy novel with themes of grief and elements of danger, you may enjoy The City Beautiful by Aidan Polidoros. I'm also looking forward to Vanishing Treasures by Katherine Rundell. Rundell wrote one of my all-time favorite literary biographies, Super Infinite, about the poet John Donne. Between her sharp wit and her generous spirit, I'll pick up anything she writes, and Rundell's name is one that you'll see more of in both children's fiction and in adult books. This particular work of nonfiction is a globe-spanning tour of the world's most awe-inspiring animals currently facing extinction. It's an urgent and inspiring book of essays dedicated to 23 unusual and underappreciated creatures, asking us to look at the world around us with new eyes, to see the magic of the animals we live among, their unknown histories and capabilities, and above all, realize how lucky we are to tread the same ground as such vanishing creatures. In light of recent threats to our progress in battling climate change, Rundell is donating all profits from this book to environmental organizations. Read everything by Rundell, from her John Donne biography to her chart-topping children's book, Impossible Creatures.